Yes, folks, you know who it is. The Renegade Teacher is back for another rant. I'm really excited to have you on board tonight, folks, as we continue our journey through space on that quest for rationality in public education. Tonight, folks, for our midweek rant, I wanted to attack a topic head-on, folks. This one has got me pretty fired up, I'll be honest. Hope I can control myself here tonight. But I noticed some articles coming up over the last few days, kind of into my consciousness and my sphere of awareness. And I wanted to bring this to you tonight, and it is the topic of teacher attrition, the number of teachers leaving the profession. The article that got my attention was actually published on WHAS11.com. I believe it's out of Louisville, Kentucky, and it's called "The National Teacher Shortage is Real and It's Getting Worse." And this author lays out a statement here. I'll read a part of it to you. It says, "Teachers in the United States are in a crisis. They are fighting battles both inside the classroom and at the national level, and many are leaving the profession altogether. Research shows close to 10% of teachers pack up their desks for good each year, and 2/3 of those teachers leave for reasons other than retirement. On top of that, fewer college students are choosing to take the path to education." And it goes through an entire article here describing the problem from their perspective. And to be completely honest, I'm not going to read it to you, but the proposed solutions that they discuss, they tend to focus a lot on trying to get more people involved in education, in terms of looking to inspire young people to become teachers. And folks, as we look at a few of these other articles, that is going to be a common thread. I have another one here published to the Economic Policy Institute called U.S. Schools Struggle to Hire and Retain Teachers. This was from back in April of 2019. But it is a very expansive article that looks through the problem as well. And it's so long, it's impossible to read it to you. But it does focus on the challenges of recruiting and hiring credentialed teachers, while the pool of qualified applicants shrinks, and how much pressure is being put on people in charge of hiring. And I know that personally, I get really mad when I think about the amount of long-term subs that are put in classrooms and expected to perform on a level that is completely unrealistic for their credentials. It really, this whole mess, folks, makes me wonder, is this intentional? Is public school being set up for failure? For obviously a lot of the politicians and decision makers, they don't really have a stake in it. They don't have a horse in the race, because they educate their children and grandchildren in private schools, and this is a huge problem, folks. Teacher attrition is going to continue to get worse without sweeping reform for education. And I have a final article I want to go through with you, but we have to stop and understand that teachers are not respected. That's the main problem. So I want to take you to the main attraction tonight, and that is a list in an article from Tough Nickel. It's called toughnickel.com. Why U.S. public school teachers are leaving the profession for good. Folks, if we think that trying to get more people interested in becoming teachers is going to fix the problem, we are very confused. The number one The number one argument in this article is cited as being poor working conditions being the number one contributing factor to teacher attrition. And I'm going to go through their list. I'll read a few details to you from some sections, and other ones I might just read the category of problem to you. But number one, I believe there are 14 on the list. I could be wrong, there may be more. But number one says teachers do not have time to use the bathroom. And it explains here, it says teachers often have to wait 2, 3, or more hours to use the bathroom. They obviously can't step out of their classroom while students are there, so they have to wait until their planning period or lunch break to relieve themselves. It says urinary tract infections are common among educators. Folks, this entire topic here of not having time to use the restroom is absolutely not an exaggeration. It makes me sick to think about how disrespected teachers are in terms of just not just the mandate on people's bodies, folks, here, and just how much teachers are not respected is enough to make me sick. Number 2 says teachers are tired of bad student behavior. It says they're tired of being disrespected by students and of the same students continually disrupting class. The worst part is when teachers call home and parents tell them that they deal with the same behavior issues at home and don't know what to do about it. This is absolutely true. Student behavior is completely out of control. Number 3, teachers don't have enough planning time. You can say that again. There's a planning period is simply a fleeting glance at what a planning time should be for teachers. It's out of control, folks, how much teachers have to do outside of their work schedule to stay caught up and to have a decent shot at not being consumed into insanity by teaching the way that it's set up now. With as much shit as on teachers' plates at school every day, there's no way that any of their planning period is actually going to get dedicated to planning. It's going to be dedicated to trying to keep their head above water, and just maybe have a chance to catch up on email, and then the planning period is over. There's not enough time in the day for teachers. Number 4, teachers get bullied by their students. It says we all know about students bullying students and even teachers bullying students, but how about students bullying teachers? It's not uncommon for teachers to be ridiculed, insulted, and harassed by their own students. This is obviously a huge problem in many schools. I'll continue here. Number 5, teachers are constantly asked to donate money. This is absolutely true. Teachers are already underpaid, but it says they're routinely asked to donate money to support their underprivileged students, to contribute to all kinds of funds like shopping funds and holiday funds and food for families in need. They're asked to contribute to school's hospitality fund for staff parties and other events. And folks, this is out of control. The amount of stuff asked of teachers in terms of just monetary donations and flower funds, and it's just completely out of control, folks. Number 6, instruction is in constant competition with school programs. I won't read this one to you. I'll just tell you, instruction is something now that gets packed in between all of the interruptions. All of the students get called out for testing. The teachers have to fight to stay aware of when they're going to have a chance to teach. It's completely out of control. The extracurriculars and all of the testing and all of the mandated things from the government on schools makes it absolutely impossible for teachers to get through their teaching standards. Number 7, teachers are asked to take on too many roles. Folks, I'll read a bit of this. As teachers feel pressured by administrators to be not only a teacher, but in many cases a parent, a social worker, a psychologist, just to name a few roles, to each of their students. We are also constantly pressured to join school committees, sponsor clubs, and help supervise after-school events. Folks, this is all right on the nose. The person that wrote this article deserves major props. They're doing a great job here. Number 8, keeping students engaged keeps getting harder. It says teachers are constantly having to work harder to maintain students' attention in the classroom. Students' attention spans keep getting shorter. Well, folks, that's not actually true. But their perception of their attention span is that it is getting shorter. The author also says educators are competing against video games and all kinds of highly stimulating technology kids are engaged in for long periods of time outside of school. It says we have to keep making lessons more fun, more lively, more exciting, and our lessons seem to keep getting shorter because kids simply can't stay engaged for more than 10 minutes at a time. Folks, this is all so perfect. This is a great description of the problem. All of these things combine. Teachers are the teaching profession is constructed in a way that it is not respected enough, and that causes all these other problems. Number 9. Teachers have to share their classrooms and desks with other teachers. I'll continue. Number 10, teachers bully teachers. These are both obviously huge problems. We have this. These a lot of times veteran educators, not all of them. A lot of them are great people, but sometimes we have these national board certified, master's degree. People who bully new educators coming into the profession and try to tell them how to do their jobs as if they should not have the autonomy with which to make decisions as a professional on their own, allowed to make mistakes and stumble and learn from them. This is all so perfect, folks. This list is doing a great job at breaking down the main problems. Number 11, teachers are not allowed to give failing grades. It says teachers are told to not penalize students when they don't turn work in. That's right. In many school districts, teachers are prohibited from giving students failing grades for missing assignments. Folks, this nonsense that's spreading through our schools of no grade being allowed to be less than a 50%, even assignments that have not been turned in. This is absolute insanity, folks. This is all just completely too much for me. Number 12, students are coming to school increasingly unprepared to learn. It says they lack basic academic skills and their basic needs are not being met. Folks, we see all of these articles and all of these people scratching their heads and wondering what the problem is with why teachers are leaving the profession, and trying to find ways to solve the problem that include inspiring the young generation to want to become teachers when they are smart enough to know that is a poor decision to make. When people are making decisions in politics that are so detached from the classroom that they are smart enough to know that is a bad situation to get into, folks. We're all so lost when the problem is right in front of our face. Our students, the teaching profession is so messed up right now, folks. I can't take it. I honestly can't. I'll continue the list here. Number 13, there's too much pressure to teach to the test. Yes, this is true. Number 14, teachers are told to just go with the flow. Yeah, to act like everything is okay. Folks, this is all just too much for me to contain myself. These people that act like there's some giant mystery surrounding why teacher attrition is off the charts. It's enough to drive me insane. This is honestly enough, folks. This is enough to make me want to drive to rural Idaho and literally get lost in the woods somewhere in rural Idaho, and in a very, very remote region of the Gem State, and perhaps stumble upon a shanty or a hut, or some crudely constructed shack, and discover a hermit who is an expert at wood whittling, and beg, and to folks, to beg this solitudinarian for basically an apprenticeship for whittling, where I could live off the land with him for many years, learning the stoic and spiritual aspects of shaping hunks of wood into idols and such, and my magnum opus of whittling after many years of study and servantry to my whittling sensei would be a giant carving made from dried aspen, and it would be an enormous coniferous humanoid hand with an especially elongated middle finger, that I would take to Boise, folks, and place on the Idaho State Department of Education on their doorstep, and leave it. And folks, I may even spray the carving with fart spray, just for extra special touch, just to spite this whole situation, folks, as to why people are acting like there is a mystery as to why teachers are leaving the profession, when it is completely obvious that the problem is teachers are not respected. We have to, as teachers, somehow survive this mathematically impossible multitasking hell that's put on our plate every day. But anytime a teacher needs support, and anytime they need anything from anyone, they are told to take a number and have a seat, as these people that are there to support them are only able to support one person at a time, when teachers have to support dozens of people at a time. It's absolutely disgusting. Teachers are not going to want to become teachers now because they see the frustration on their teachers' faces. They know that it's hell. Teachers aren't even viewed on any level anymore as being heroes, which they are. Society does not hold them anywhere near the level that they should. Not to say that teachers should be held on the same level as veterans or anything, but we hold, first responders and law enforcement officers to a very high level of respect, and I think teachers deserve, if not to be on a level similar to them, at least to be on a level, folks. Teachers should have a level of respect higher than they do now. It's absolutely disgusting. With an increased level of respect would come an increase in work conditions, and just the general design of education to allow teachers to be the professionals that they are, and to be able to have more control over the decisions that they are allowed to make in a day, and where to spend their time, and how to reflect on the work that they do. Folks, I need to put on a blood pressure cuff. I've gotten a little worked up tonight. I'm going to go ahead and try to reel this one in. And as we progress through the midweek and approach the end of the week and the next rant, we need to try to gain some focus. Again, this one I spun a little out of control, but I'll try to reel it in here. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And as always, I look forward to connecting with you in the next transmission. Stay safe and stay honest, folks. And this is the Renegade Teacher signing off.